Tov Kuf Lamed Vov. All right. The poskim on Sif Aleph, which I think we started it. Let's do it again. Tov Kuf Lamed Vov. A person who needs to ride in order to be matayel. That sounds like a stira to me, right? Okay. Chol Hamoed. Lo nisa v'lo nisa leleches v'rago. Yochol litol tzipornei asus. You can give him a manicure for the sakim v'raglo v'uf v'resim chol tzach yarchiva. All the implements that are necessary in order to get the horse going, you're allowed to do. U'bavat shelo yischav b'malachta b'moed. U'muter lirkov me'moed afilu me'ir le'ir b'chino, but not for money. And we'll discuss that what that means. But you're not allowed to do any tikkunim if it's not for a justified purpose.
What does it mean?
That means that you don't. I'll do it in Chol Hamoed when I have time. You know, it came out.
Even though the reason is because he now needs to do something.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to. Let's say, I'm not going to. I don't think it's true, but let's say on every yontif you're driving around and you look at your gas gauge and the light is on. Say, I'll fill up a Chol Hamoed when I have time. What are you laughing about?
Have it all day.
Hopefully not all the time, right? Yeah, it's always on empty, huh? Anyways, so you say that's called I'll do it when I have time. And this is something which people do all the time, and they think that they're not being mechavam lachtam loik. They just happens to work out that way. But actually, if you're not,
it's filling up with gas.
it's not called the malacha filling up with gas. But theoretically, there are those who are makbid to buy all their food stuff even before Yontif. They shouldn't be doing anything that you don't have to do. Now, in the olden times, this wasn't really, it's not a question of practical, it wasn't really, you buy everything fresh, right? What are you going to buy your fish for 8 days? You might as well just leave it in the ocean, you know what I mean? It's not going to be edible. Right, so we live in a different environment. What?
Put it in your bathtub.
The bathtub, yeah. Okay. They had a big pot that they used as a bathtub. It wasn't in use all the time. That's like your winter coat in the summer. You own it, but when it's not in use, it's not in use.
The common practice was to go to your Thursday or whatever.
I understand, but where did that dude was not out and in use all the time. They took it out. Home on the prairie, I think you need another lesson. Okay.
I knew someone in America who did it in the bathtub.
What did they do in the bathtub? When? When did they do it?
It's usually before Pesach when they go a lot of days.
What?
Week before Pesach.
Before Pesach.
In that bathtub for how long?
It wasn't by us.
It wasn't for 4 days.
I don't know how long it was.
Until they got up to taking care of it. Yeah, I remember as a little kid, someone brought my father a present, a live fish that he caught, some massive thing. You know what to do with it? It's just stuck in the freezer. And it defrosted and was good to go. I come from Michigan, so I guess they can take it. Anyways, but it was 2 hours in the freezer and it was fine. Fresh fish from the freezer. Anyways, so now I would like to right now discuss a modern issue, which is a lot of poskim have what to say about the subject, and I feel incompetent on making a across-the-board statement on the subject. A car. Does one need their car? Okay? If you live in Manhattan, if you live in Brooklyn, if you live in Monsey, each one of those would have a different answer to the question of if you need your car. And if you live in Detroit, Michigan, there's no option. It's not a what?
It's not a question.
It's not shaykh to exist without a car.
Let's talk about Yerushalayim Beit Shemesh.
So Yerushalayim Beit Shemesh, I'll answer that question. Most of the people here in Beit Shemesh have really no need for their car on Yom Tov. Chol Hamoed.
Maybe he's on a trip.
What was the word that I said? Need. Right? Does anybody disagree with that statement?
That comes to try and explain Moshe Tzarech L'Tal.
But first, let's you wouldn't say the same thing in Monsey, right? No, I'm saying this is so. Just talking about a car, I think anybody who wants to paskin has to know who he's talking about. This is it's.
Is that any worse than going on a bus?
The answer to the question is fascinating. I have a mechutin who is a very religious fellow, and he does not take taxis on Chol Hamoed. He only rides the bus. And the reason why, listen to this, we didn't learn this yet. So, because the bus is tzorchei rabim. The monit is tzorchei yochid. And could very well be it's usher for the monit driver to work, but the same guy, he's allowed to drive his bus because he's doing tzorchei rabim. Now, we didn't learn anything about the subject yet, but I'll just share with you a snide comment of mine some 35 or 40 years ago. This was, I think, the first or second year the Yated newspaper was around. How many years is that around? It's like 35 years around. Something like that. And Rav Shach put out a letter about something that the government did on Chol Hamoed. And I was very surprised that Rav Shach put out a letter on Chol Hamoed. And I asked somebody in the Chutzner, I was a troublemaker back in those days, I said, on what basis did he put out a letter on Chol Hamoed? I said, don't tell me that he held it tzorchei mitzvah. That was a snide comment, you understand? So the person started to laugh, and I said, why are you laughing? He said, because when he told me to write the sign, I asked him, what's the head of tzorchei mitzvah? And the Shach said, nay. He was very, very vociferous against, it's not tzorchei mitzvah. I said, so what's the pressing issue? He said, tzorchei rabim. And let him tzorchei rabim also. So I continued to press my cynicism, and I said, allegedly the people that are reading this, they only use the Yated, and the Yated doesn't print on Chol Hamoed, and they don't listen to the radio, so how would they know that there's any subject to address? Where is the tzorchei rabim? Tzorchei rabim is only if you know that there's an issue. But if you don't know there's an issue, and that was how I left it. What? No, there was no Pachkevilim yet. This was before the Pachkevilim came out. So, but Echshahu, I still believe that there's tzorchei rabim. People find out about things. It's not a question really. But
what if you know the taxi driver needs to earn money?
That could be. Let's say you didn't ask me if I paskin like that. You say I have a mechutna. That's his personal haga. Just saying you want to know how serious the halachas could be, and we could substantiate this claim. It's not all right.
Just about thinking to yourself for saying in the connection with that, using public transport in Chol Hamoed rather than using a private car or taxi. There's also concern when using public transport is issues with shmiras and ayim, which you don't have usually with a taxi or a private car. So maybe from that respect, it would be better to use a taxi or a private car.
Perhaps, but these are individual persons' cheshbonis. That's you have to know what your needs are, and also depends where you're taking a bus to. There's all kinds of that's a legitimate thing. I have a friend of mine who lived in Ramot, and when I was a bocher, Ramot was, except for Ramat Polin, it was all irreligious people, and he would walk every morning from Ramat Polin to Gula, not to go on the bus, and he would walk back at 11:30 at night for the Shmiras night. Okay. What? Yeah. But he will have a piece of Olam Haba that many others won't have, right? Okay. Anyways. So here we got the question: a person needs to fix his car on Chol Hamoed. People have a very vivid imagination of what they need. Now, I would like to discuss something. I'm going to share with you something about myself personally. Maybe it's a chesaron that I have, and maybe I'm a realist. For some reason, Kadosh Baruch Hu made it that I usually get a flat tire once every 3 or 4 months. I have a punch card at the pancheria, you know what I mean? I'm forever going over nails. I don't know how I find them, you know what I mean? There must be some magnets on my tires. There are people who go for 10 years without this. And if my car would get a flat on Chol Hamoed, and it has happened to me twice already, I fixed instead of driving the spare, because I need my spare. Now, whether that's a chesaron and emunin metochen or not, they have to see each person. But I consider it a necessity, and I would like to share with you, for the broader understanding of the issue, the concept. A man, Ramat Shlomo, came to me. He's in a fight with his wife over this issue, and they decided that I should make the decision. He has 10,000 shekel on the side. He doesn't need it, and he would like to lend it to somebody, the kind of mitzvah of having a gemach. And his wife said, "You can't lend him that money. That's the only extra money we have, and we need to have extra money." So he said to his wife, "Why do we need to have extra money?" You understand? So they decided to come to me with this question. So, this is a true story. You can't make up. What? You can't make this up, right? So I said to ask the man, I said, if you have a spare tire, and Matzah Shabbos somebody knocks on your door and says, is this car your car? I said, yes. He said, I have a car exactly like yours 2 blocks away, and I got a flat. Can I borrow your spare? And I'll bring it back next week. I live in Bnei Brak, and I have, my spare is gone. Can I borrow your spare for a week? Would you lend him your spare tire? What? You wouldn't?
I would.
You would. Would you? Why not?
What if I need it?
Is there something wrong with you?
Statistically, you
I'm driving the car,
can't.
Chas v'sholom,
So listen, what's like? You don't have to explain to me why a person has a spare tire, right? That we started off that I wouldn't get the flats all the time, right? You don't have to explain this. So I said to him, if somebody would say that they need their spare tire because it keeps them calm, they're using their spare tire. It's not extra. It's not extra. Some people need to have the backup. Now, whether they have a emunah b'tachan issue or not, that's a different question. But it's in use. Not only that, just to make something clear. This is a davar shel chol, but I think it's very important. Many times people ask me all kinds of fascinating questions, and one of the questions I get asked often is, should I buy insurance? And I have an answer to that question. I have a car, let's say my car costs 40,000 shekel, 50,000 shekel. Should I pay 4,000 shekel a year to have comprehensive insurance on my car? What does Ishtadlis demand of me? To have an answer to this question, my answer is not a hashkafic answer, it's a business answer to this question. Then we can discuss the hashkafa. There's a concept of self-insuring. Right? What will happen if someone's car gets totaled and you have no insurance on 50,000 shekel? How much will put you in the doghouse? What's it going to do to you? So if it's not going to do much, probably it's not worth it to buy the insurance. Because self-insuring is cheaper. If you can't replace the car, you don't have the money to replace the car, it's going to make you a major setback, so then it's worthwhile, even though it may be expensive.
You can't afford not having insurance.
So what this means is as follows. Now here's the statement. If at the end of the year I didn't activate my insurance, did I make a bad investment or not? And the answer is, if the answer is that you think you made a bad investment, you shouldn't have bought the insurance. If it bought you peace of mind, you used the insurance. Now, this is a very important. Now, after this is clear, then we go to the next step of what. You with me? Yes? We get along? You didn't have your Cheerios today, I don't know. Your Wheaties today. Anyways, but that's the answer to the question. So I told this guy that it's within the realm of reason that people want to have a spare tire, and Mamela, I see right in your wife's taina. 2 years later, the guy comes knocking on my door on a Motzei Shabbos. This is an extremely funny story, and I say, what do you want? He said, someone just knocked on my door, and they live in Bnei Brak, and they needed a spare tire, and I lent it to them. It's a true story. Okay? So he said, what does that mean? I said, it means you are makayim a mitzvah. Good vach. That's the end. But this actually happens. Mamish Kadosh Baruch Hu's sense of humor actually played itself out to the end. But actually, now, why am I telling this to you? I bought recently a new car.
Who drives the car?
I bought myself recently a new car, and I wasn't aware of it. It doesn't come with a spare tire. It doesn't come with a spare tire. It comes with a gook and a compressor. They can spray in the gook, and in most situations, that'll take care of it. I owned this car for 2 months. Twice already, I had to switch the tire, and I actually had. I didn't do that because if you use that gook, many times you can't. Don't buy the car I have. Anyways, so I actually had somebody who had a spare jack, and I jacked it up, took the tire off, and I went to the punchery and returned. Okay, twice already it happened. I had the car 2 months, twice already happened. So now, okay, this is just me and a Kodesh Baruch Hu. He wants me to be the financer of the puncheria, which is fine. I don't know.
It's like you exercise.
Oh, this could be. Anyways, the Lo Mishnah, I'm just sharing to you with this point. When someone says, I need my car on Chol Hamoed, some people need their car to sit in their driveway. They don't really need their car. Okay? So when I get asked the question, I get asked the question a few different ways. Sometimes I get asked the question about fixing the spare tire. I don't readily answer that question because I believe that certain people need to fix it. They won't. If they tell you you don't have a spare tire, they won't go where they have to go because they don't want to get stuck on the road. And other people say, "What do you mean? I've been driving without a spare tire for 3 months already." I know these guys. I know those guys, and I'm not here to make Seder in the world. That's not my job, right? I'm sorry. I apologize. It's waking up everybody else. Anyways, so a puncher. If you ask me if you're allowed to fix it or not, you won't get a straight answer. You know, I have to do more questioning to give an answer. But as far as fixing the car, if it's a Chol Hamoed, so then I will allow usually a person to fix it. Some only allow things that are a not a ma'asuma, which is kamat impossible. There's kamat nothing that's like that. So this is just a point over here. Most of the times we're talking about something which is a not a real necessity, and when I will have to ask. I know you people can answer the question. Do I need a car to get from Beit Shemesh to Yerushalayim and back on Chol Hamoed? I can't take the bus, right? But for me to take the bus it takes 3 times the amount of time. 3 times the amount of time. Now, sometimes I can do it, sometimes I can't. Okay, so that's not the average person in their Chol Hamoed. Okay, so anyways, I just wanted to touch on that subject.
This principle that I've explained to us that sometimes a person can get what they need in order to feel comfortable, right? I understood it properly?
No.
No?
No, I said sometimes a person's needs demand that he have something that makes him feel comfortable.
Right.
That's not what you said.
Well, that's what
No. There's a very big difference. In other words, having an air conditioner in the summer, is that a need?
Yeah. Germany.
What?
Unless you're like sweating.
It's meant.
Okay, so that's to make you feel comfortable, right? Can one survive without it? You can survive without it, but you function at a different level, right? So, my kinei midah on this question is, in my opinion, if I went around, I said, I know somebody's a poor person, he can't afford a new air conditioner, and I'm collecting for him for an air conditioner. I believe nobody would say, what right does he have to have an air conditioner, right? You agree with that? 30 years ago, that wouldn't have been the case. But in today's environment, that has become a necessity.
I wanted to apply the principle to something that happened to me last year with family. A few family members started asking me to get them foreign passports long before this business happened last year. So that if for some reason they wanted that, I don't know what difference it makes.
Yeah. So what is that? There's nothing pressing about that at all. I would tell the people in my family, a person must have restraint and self-control. That's not even for Chol Hamoed, not for the Moed, not for anything. Right? It'll take 6 months till you get it, right? Whatever, it takes 6 weeks. It's not.
That's true.
I don't see any heter for that to be done on Chol Hamoed. All right. Anyways, let's just continue on this concept. And there's another question, which is, I saw some people who discuss, fascinating question, are you allowed to give your car a car wash on Chol Hamoed? What? Can't hear you.
I had that question.
Being a Jew, in a petrol station on the 10, if you fill up a certain amount, you get a car wash for 10 shekels instead of 30. So it's I'm being a bit.
I just like to share. I would like to share with you. I would like to share with you something, a chiddush in economics. You know it's cheaper than something that's on sale? Not buying it.
No, but you need,
Right?
You need
I don't know if you don't even have to pay mom on that.
No, but we need
Okay?
But you need petrol anyway.
And then I understand, but do you need the car wash? Do you need car wash? You 1 second. You are, since you're Jewish, I'm going to make fun of you. And Jews are notorious that somebody said, "I'll sell you a pink elephant for $1,000." Said no. I'll sell you 2 for $1,500. Then you buy it, right? You figure out what to do with it, right? So if you need a car wash, and I say, so what? You didn't need one last time you filled up?
Maybe 2 weeks ago.
Maybe. So now, if you're talking about a car wash, that we get into technical things. The car wash is done by hand. It's done by machine. It's not, there's all kinds of. But be'etzem, it's a pirsum and it's an avoid, and it shouldn't be done a chol hamoed. That's
Is that within clothing?
no.
Some people in it all the time. So maybe
Well, maybe their clothes got washed when they're giving a car wash. That's possible. Okay.
they wrapped it in
The
there.
windows open.
All right. Okay. Mutter lisra ksus kedeli apoisa. You're allowed to spruce up your horse, and there's various reasons why that's permissible
That's
to be
the
done.
commerce, no?
Why am I speaking about this? No, but according to some, Dehu b'chlal tzorchei rechiva, because it makes it work better and it doesn't. It's not whatever. Shetzir letzorch lichol letzorch hamor l'tayil. V'afil b'masik shemesh imim. Even if you use a brush that's going to cause hairs to fall out, you're allowed to do it on Chol Hamoed. Okay. Next, the next halacha is fascinating, and there's a Mishnah Berurah which I think demands that we take note. What is called a davar ha'avod? A davar ha'avod means that you have. I'm going to tell you what most people think davar ha'avod means, which is wrong. Then I'll tell you what a davar ha'avod means, and then we'll discuss some of the. I have an opportunity that I'm going to miss out on something. That is not a davar ha'avod. Davar ha'avod means that if I'm going to be damaged, I'm going to lose something if I don't do it. In other words, if I have an opportunity to make an income, to pass up that opportunity is not a davar ha'avod. If I have something that's going to get ruined if I don't take care of it, that is a davar ha'avod. In other words, because you get the same amount of money, but it's a question of losing what you already possess or creating new monies. There is, however, the concept, and this is very important because this is what throws a monkey wrench in this whole thing, of Yom HaShuk. There's now is the fair time, so now is, if you're not going to buy it now, you're not going to get it, so that can be called davar ha'avod, something that you count on, that there's, but it's also a davar ha'avod because it's part of the cycle. In other words, when someone calls me up, and I'm going to use the same joke that I said 2 minutes ago, but you'll understand the relevance now. Someone calls me up, I just saw in the newspaper, this and this store are selling suits at half price. Can I buy a suit? I say no. I said, but Rabbi, I'm going to lose money. I said, do you need a suit? No, but it's on sale. This conversation couldn't happen, right?
What if you do need a suit?
So now you need it for Yontif. You don't need it for Yontif. So
Doesn't need, but he wants to wear a new suit for the last day of it.
it's going to have a hard time convincing me. We have these halachas we discussed last time, the Igros Moshe. I think to buy something, if really that's what's going to make you happy on Yontif, etc., maybe we could work out a heter. But the pashtus is that it's not supposed to be done. The end. So let's. So we're going to speak about right now people who have ein marviyim behema b'moed. Person wants to have his animals have children, so you cannot be involved physically in causing them to mate. Aval makizin lodam, you're allowed to do that. Ve'ein moinim mimeno kol refuah, and you're allowed to give for your animal any kind of trufot that it needs. Afilu yesh bo malacha, you're allowed to do that. V'chein, next halacha dalid. Ein reshivin tarnagoles al beitzim l'gad lefroichim. I have over here Avrohom, and not Avrohom. I have eggs, and I want to have them hatch, and I want to have chicks. So you're not allowed to do this. Now, what's the big deal? This is called WORK. This is not what? This is not necessarily a malacha that we're talking about. This is like tircha. This is an esek. This is a job. If you already did this and they started to grow and they ran away, then you're allowed to put them back. I will also because that's called already a new job, and you're not allowed to do that. Because we're going to see, because then you could still sell it, and we'll see the Mishnah Berurah. All right. When you're allowed to let things happen, but you're not allowed to be physically involved in the actions. Well, your Rabbi Kosav, the Hada also Larabiyo Davka Bishar Behemos. Aval Chamoira Shetova. If you have certain animals that are what's called in English in heat, the Oz Imlo Yavireno Lakashim Aval Zachar. If you're not going to get it when it's in heat, Titstan Vitekar Mutter Larabiyo Leo. Why? Because this is an opportunity that you banked on, and it's not going to be able to be pushed off. It's going to be lost. So the cycle. Yeah. There's a cycle.
It's still a gain. It's not preventing a loss, but it's.
But this is, as I said, this is part of the. When you figure out things, is part of the yearly cycle that I do this. So now I'm missing out a piece of my parnasa that I'm supposed to be getting. This is not a perk being added. And yet the Mishnah Berurah beings, those are machmer. We rightfully understand why. So in other words, how much work are we talking about? What? I don't know. I never was a farmer, but I can't imagine. It's so terrible. All right. You're not allowed to have them sit on the eggs if it's neither of the two. They're not going to get ruined the eggs altogether. You're just going to have a insignificant loss. And all you're doing is putting them back on the eggs, then that's okay. To do malach and Chol Hamoed is d'Rabbanan. Aval im nizvar dehuda raisa ein lo hakol hachzer rak im yoshva kvar aleim shlosh yomim. If it says the raisa, then you wouldn't be able to put the chicken on the eggs.
So generally, a person who's self-employed, can he work on the Chol Hamoed?
I'm not sure. What does he do? No, it's very difficult for me to. I'm going to use. Let's speak about a question which I asked many times over the last 5 years, and this is a real question that's not simple for me to answer. People have businesses on the internet. They have whatever. They have like a website. And it seems that the search engine of Google, when I put in I want to buy snowshoes, so there may be 80 companies that sell snowshoes, me and Sister Sally, right, sell snowshoes, and it'll pick listings in order based on sales and performance and other things. In other words, to be on the top of the list.
And money, if you pay for advertising.
Yeah, whatever. There's all kinds of ways that it's done. So the fellow tells me if I am not going to have my store open on Chol Hamoed, I'm going to lose my standing, and it's going to take me 8 to 10 months to regain my slot. That's hezek. What's a hezek?
sells a
What's that saying? I'm not deaf. I know what I said. What's the hezek?
Less people are going to be likely to
It
buy.
costs some money to
I'm not going to
Reach that many people.
make as much money.
But that's life also costs money and time and effort to get there.
One second.
No,
One
it's gonna make a
second.
loss.
One second. This is exactly the point.
Now what's a certain amount?
I would like to tell you what I learned from a taxi driver in Yerushalayim many years ago. I was haggling with the taxi driver about the price, 50 shekel, and I said 40 shekel, whatever. And he eventually agreed to me. And in a huff, he says, "Aval tamini ani mafsid alecha." Right? Those notorious words. So I got into the taxi, had him start going before I opened my mouth. And then I said to him, "Tagid li, im ata bemet mafsid alai, lama ata lokech oti?" Okay? So he looks at me like there's something wrong with me. אני לא מפסיד עליך. הייתי יכול להרוויח יותר עם מישהו אחר. Right? Right? That, is he מפסיד עליי or no?
Relative to someone else.
So when you're going to say that I'm going to have less sales, is that a hefsid?
Well, if you're earning $50,000 a month now, you're going to drop it to there.
No! You're just making less money.
You get a drop in your wage.
It's again, I'm making less. What's the difference between making less and losing money? The two things are not the same thing. That's what I'm telling you.
You're going to salary a person, you can say, okay, I'll take unpaid vacation.
Where's the mortgage to pay? That's going to have less money to live on.
We're not having a conversation. No, there's something missing over here. I had someone call me up this Chol Hamoed. Person is a real estate agent, and somebody is here from America and wants to see a property that they have. And they asked me, could I show it to them? I said, no. So why? So I can make a lot of money. You should be blessed. I said, no. So the person was a very religious person, and I saw that they were very lachutz, which is lachutza. So I asked her, when did you start negotiations with this person? And then a story unfolded. They've been working on this already for 6 weeks. And now a person from the family came to Eretz Yisrael. That's a whole different story than the question that I was asked in the beginning. And at the end, I was Meichel. And there was a Talmud Chacham in my house. I said, what are you Meichel for? What are you Meichel for? That's just not making money. I said, no, you're losing the client. It's a different subject. This is what's happening. So, but all these questions are not simple. No, it's the difference between making money and losing money. Halacha does not see them as the same thing. So just because you could make a lot of money on Chol Hamoed, I could just say, you know what? I would like to open a ice cream store in the park on Chol Hamoed. I can make a lot of money. I can't do that the rest of the year. I'm not working anyways. A lot of kids there. So it's a hefsed merubah because it's a great opportunity. Don't ask me that question.
So the simplest way to a guy sells popcorn.
So there's a few answers to that question. No, that's so there's a question whether he's allowed to do it or not. And it's not so simple. That's called an opportunity. The Poskim discuss selling shyness. There's a big discussion about selling a shyness. If you're allowed to cut them on Chol Hamoed or not. So that's part of the heter. But saying, obviously, everybody only uses a shyness on Sukkot. I don't think they have a big market the day after.